These are the cheapest walkie-talkies that I can find on Amazon. They come in at about £16 for a pair of walkie-talkies. They're PMR 446 walkie-talkies. I imagine that Amazon in the US has an equivalent on the kind of FRS band. Anyway, let's take a look at the box, and see what you get with these. Okay, right, how do these come packaged? All right, so we get a little manual there, and that's it. They don't come with any cables. They don't come with anything at all, actually. Literally just the walkie-talkies. Now, these things are really tiny. Presumably channel up and down. I'll take a look at that in a second. Power button there. Don't know what that button does. Don't really know what that button does. And there's the push to talk on the side. How does that feel? Yeah, it's okay, actually. In general, actually, the whole thing feels all right. Particularly as it hasn't got any batteries in. This belt clip is just plastic, and I imagine with the small weight of the walkie-talkie, it's not going to be too bad. Stubby antenna, that's solid, so it hasn't got any flex in that at all. If that gets knocked or it gets knocked too hard, it's going to break. But I wouldn't have thought it would, because the fact that the walkie-talkie is so light. So just slide that off, I'm guessing, to get into the batteries. Yeah, you can just unclip the belt clip like that, so you can more easily get your batteries in. So they take 3 each. I thought it was 4, actually. I'm only going to put batteries in 1 because I haven't got enough batteries to do 2. See whether we can get any power to this thing. Okay, there we are. Okay, so that's doing volume at the moment. So how do I get that to do channel? Okay, yeah, so you just press this button in the center there, move up through the channels. How many have we got? 8 channels. So this is just PMR 1 to 8. And that's a very familiar sound. I've heard that a lot when I've been listening to other people using walkie-talkies and stuff. That little beep at the end, the Roger beep at the end, is a familiar tone to me. There appears to be no way to change the CTCSS tones on these. You're stuck with what you've got, and I'll check what that is in a second. I thought this was quite interesting. They try to make it visual to people what the effective range of these are going to be, and I got to praise them on their documentation here. It's very neat. It's very clear. But this thing, I'm not quite sure really what value it adds at all. So, you've got your range here. So you start here. So I assume this is your transmission point, and this is your range. And then they're saying, if you're in an optimum area like 0.3 here, you will get the most range. And if you're in an area like 5, so 5 is heavily developed area, then you don't get much range. It's like, wow, thanks for the massively detailed insight into potential range on these walkie-talkies. Let's just keep it simple. You're in a built-up area with houses all around you. With a walkie-talkie like this, you're going to get about 100 to 200 meters. Don't expect any more. If you get more, bonus. Don't expect it. If you're in kind of open fields and whatever, you'll probably get about 1 kilometer. If you're line of sight, we've tested it, you can do well in excess of 10, 20 kilometers if you are complete line of sight. Let's have a look on the scanner. Okay, so it looks like they don't actually transmit any tone at all. Just try channel 2. No, looks like they don't transmit a tone at all, which I suppose is okay. Just brought in my XT420 here, the Motorola XT420, just to show you what we would otherwise see. So there you go. As soon as it transmits, I've got a CTCSS of 107.2 hertz on that particular frequency. It's interesting that they've chosen to do that, actually, that they've decided to put these in without any kind of privacy tone, as it's sometimes called, whatsoever. If you are a company looking to use these and you don't have any privacy tone on there, you're going to receive all the other transmissions that people are sending on a particular channel. So let's say there's some kids nearby, they're using their walkie-talkies on the same channel, or I don't know, another company's using the same channel. If you're not using privacy tones for receiving, then you're going to pick all that up, regardless of whether you want to or not. Now, of course, it doesn't keep the channel free, so if someone's using it nearby, you still end up with an occupied channel, but at least you don't hear it. Time to test the range of the Amazon Basics walkie-talkie, and I'm going to do this in a built-up area. So I'm just literally putting these by the window in a downstairs room. These two are just going to sit here, the XT420, and I'm going to compare it rather unfairly, it seems, to the Amazon Basics walkie-talkie. I'm going to use my Sony UX570 recorder, which is just going to be voice operated. So as soon as the transmission comes through, it records directly what comes out of these walkie-talkies. Hopefully that will also give you an idea of how each of these sound compared to each other, because a lot of the time I do my audio tests from a scanner, and I realize, as someone pointed out in one of the comments on my video, that's not really the fairest way to do it, because a radio might sound okay through a scanner, but it doesn't give you any indication that the speaker on this thing is any good.
This is a test of the Amazon Basics at 0 meters, so right next to the recorder. This is the Amazon Basics walkie-talkie. This is a test of the Motorola XT420 at 0 meters next to the recorder, the XT420. This is the Amazon Basics at 50 meters, Amazon Basics at 50 meters. This is the Motorola XT420 at 50 meters, the XT420, 50 meters. This is the Amazon Basics at 100, Amazon Basics at 100 meters. This is the Motorola XT420 at 100 meters, Motorola XT420, 100. Basics, Amazon Basics at 150-ish, as close as I can do it really. This is the Motorola XT420 at 150. The XT420 at 150. The Amazon Basics 200, Amazon Basics at 200, 200 meters. This is the Motorola XT420 at 200 meters, the XT420 at 200 meters. Let's see how that's going. 250, Amazon Basics 250. And this is the Motorola XT420 250. Yes, 420 at 250. Okay, Amazon Basics at 300. So we're covering 300 because I think that's going to be given the fact that we've got to switch out. 420, 300. Same situation here. Wouldn't expect to do too much better than this in this area, but see how it goes. Motorola XT420 at 300.
So, what did you make of that? Quite interesting, isn't it? Hearing the difference between the two walkie-talkies that are effectively the same standard, same frequencies, same power, theoretically. Quite different performance there between the two. So this is my quick look at the Amazon Basics walkie-talkie. What do I like about it? Not that much, actually, but I put a couple of things down. I want to be fair in this little kind of review section at the end here. It is very cheap for £8. Well, you can't go too wrong, can you? If you just want to have, grab a pair to have a play around with, if your kids want to try out some walkie-talkies, see if they like them, for £16, well, you can't go too wrong, can you? They're very small, very light, perfectly suited for a child's hands, very easy to carry around, very easy to put in a pocket, so that's a bit of a bonus, I suppose. They're simple to use because they've just got no features, but that does make them very, very straightforward. Volume up and down, channel up and down, that's pretty much it, really. And I managed to pick a fourth one out as well, and that is that they stand up. So on the bottom here, they're flat, so they will stand up on a surface like that. I find that to be a good thing, a useful thing. It's nice to have them kind of upright like that. As far as bad things are concerned, well, they've just got no CTCSS, and if you wanted to grab some of these for a business, you really do need that. You want to have your transmission and your reception made in some way private. It's not a security thing, remember that, but it is private in the sense that it won't open the squelch stem for someone else if they're receiving you, and vice versa. So you have a channel kind of a bit more to yourself, which is important if you're running a business. Secondly, AAA batteries. Who likes AAA batteries? They're useless. They've got rubbish power capacity, and there's no charging port on this. So if you want to change the batteries, you've got to take the back off, and you've got to just do it that way, old-fashioned way. Put them on a charger, swap them out, take the belt clip off every time. This is going to break. It's just going to, it's not going to last long enough. As I say, they've got no advanced features on them, which, yeah, it does make them simple, but if you do need any of those advanced features, these walkie-talkies are not for you. And they are subject to interference, I found. I was getting kind of weird noise on the speaker. You can hear it on the first transmission there, where I was really close to the walkie-talkie with the other one, and you could get clearly the filtering on these, or the rejection of kind of higher RF levels is just not as good. So probably not a problem for most people, but clearly that type of thing is not going to be as good on a cheap walkie-talkie. And finally, the range, it just seems to be well below par. They're just not that good. The XT420 there was clearly better. I mean, I was moving around as I was doing those kind of tests, and I intentionally did that. I wanted to kind of move around, so it face away from where I was, face towards it, and things like that. So it does dip around a bit. They both did that, but there was a clear difference between the two, and I just don't think this performs well. You can get better, and I'll be covering that in a future video, because for a little bit more money, you can get something much better than this. So would I recommend it? No. But as I always say, if you would like to support the channel, I will put links for these down in the description. You don't have to buy these. You don't have to, just if you buy anything on Amazon, if you click on that link first, you will be supporting the channel. If you're a kind of walkie-talkie person like me, or a bit of a radio enthusiast like me, then check out those links in the description, and they'll take you to these walkie-talkies. But thank you very much for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll see you soon.